white people deserve a home. There's 1.4 billion Chinamen, there's 1.4 billion Indians, there's a billion Africans, there's a billion Arabs, and they've all got their own countries. Now, if there was a white country on earth, I don't want to leave Australia, but if you said to me, Tom, why don't you go live in Poland or Lithuania or Latvia or whatever, I would say, look, it's tempting, but I love Australia. It is tempting because I don't like what's happening to this country. I think white people deserve a home collectively. They have a home. We don't have one. We're being told that Australia is for everyone, and if it's for everyone, then it's for no one. That's my position. And second to that, collectively, is individually. I individually cannot afford a home. My father bought a home on 3 years' wages. I could not even buy a 200 square meter block of dirt in Tarneet for 3 years' wages. Because of the conditions the government has put our generation through, I and the people younger than me are getting locked out of the market. And when we do afford a home, like where I rent, I take my child to the playground, Sam. And every single other child at the playground is speaking a foreign language to their parents. My child is the only child at the playground that's speaking English. And I'm surrounded by people that are being told, oh, this is a great multicultural diversity. And it just means less white people, less white culture. And ultimately, we're going to turn into global South Africa. And I will fight to stop that from happening, Sam. I don't want us to turn into South Africa. I had family in Rhodesia. I had family in South Africa. I'm not letting it happen here. And so I'm trying with all my might to be peaceful and reasonable and political, but we have to protect white Australia. We have to.
All right. Everybody heard what this guy had to say. I'm not going to necessarily argue what he's saying. People feel how they feel about immigration and that whole crisis that's going on in, America, Australia, Europe, all across Europe, the UK, everything. Like all of Europe, all of the Americas, like everybody's being invaded, if you will. I'm not going to try to go too deep on that subject. I'm just going to simply say, I live in Southern California and I live in an Arab neighborhood. It's mostly Arab. And the housing complex, like the neighborhood, it popped up maybe 30 years ago and Arab people kind of just took it over. And when I got here 10 years ago, I was going to a junior college out here. I had gotten out the military and I was going to a junior college out here. And it was nothing but Arab people everywhere. You go to the grocery store, Arab people. You go to Target, Walmart, everywhere you go was Arab people. Now, and keep in mind, I don't have a problem with these people. It was a very low crime, almost no crime area. But everywhere you go is Arab people. Now, these people happen to be Chaldean. So those are Arab Christians. But anyways, you go to the college and it'll be like 60, 70-year-old men and women at this college, along with 19, 20 something year old kids at the college. And it's like they came from Afghanistan. They came from Iraq. And as soon as they got here, they started taking advantage of opportunities. Okay, fine, whatever. So I happened to ask one of the older guys, like, hey man, how did all these people get here? Because all the houses are new. Like there's no old homes. There's no old homes in the neighborhood. There's no, like none of the apartment complexes. None of them is old. So I just asked, like, how did all you guys get here? And he was like, oh, this whole area, this whole city kind of sprang up, maybe 25 years ago or so. And you start doing the math and it's like, well, this is around the time of the Iraq war, the Afghanistan war, September 11th and all that. And so I'm asking him like, well, how did you guys get over here if we were at war with those countries? And I guess what the guy said was, I guess there was like some sort of program that America had, what they eventually ended up adopting. America had it. Most of Europe had it. The UK had it. And it was a joint effort between all those countries, because when the war kicked off, I guess, they go over there, they're dropping bombs on people. They're killing bad guys and they're also killing good guys. So apparently at first, you kill a good guy, or you kill, somebody who's not supposed to die, collateral damage, that whole deal. You kill somebody, you have to write them a check. You got to give them money. Okay. You do that 1 time, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, and you start writing these checks and the bills start piling up. So I guess that happened between the coalition forces so many times that they actually had to stop cutting checks And they said, okay, how about this? We'll allow you to integrate. We'll bring you to America because we can't afford to keep cutting these checks. I'm not sure how much the checks were, but apparently it was a lot, and a lot of innocent people were dying. So what ends up happening is they move these families over, one at a time. But if you know anything about Arabs, they don't necessarily roll as a family. It's not just one family. It's like it's whole clans and stuff. Like one family is attached to a whole clan of other people. So between you potentially killing someone who's not supposed to die, and you are trying to barter for information on terrorists and stuff like that. So you say, okay, how about this? If you give me information on this terrorist we're looking for, we'll move you over. So that was like the thing. So I guess this program goes into place, and people are dying, innocent people are dying. So the family gets moved over, the clan gets moved over. All these people get moved over, and they're given these big parcels of land, or they're kind of moved to these places, and they're given government stipends. So they're basically on welfare plus some extra stuff. Like they're getting a lot of money because a lot of these people got big money. So this is going on in America. This is going on in Europe. It's going on in Australia, all the places where the coalition forces were. Now, it's important to note, this is not the only reason why all these people are in various places, right? It's not the only reason, but I just found it interesting that this was all going on. Like I found it very, very interesting that essentially 20 years ago, America, Europe, Australia, the UK, they sold their countrymen out. Like you were sold out 2 decades ago, and you're just now finding out. Like you got younger millennials, between 25 and 30, and then you got Gen Z and Gen Alphas right behind them. You have 2.5 generations of people who are just now waking up and discovering, oh snap, the world is messed up. We need to do something. But you're literally 20 some years late. Like you're like 24 years too late. The deal with the devil was done way back then. And keep in mind, I'm not downing on Arab people. Like I said, the neighborhood I live in is real nice. It's very, very safe. No crime. The people are very respectful, everything like that. So I don't have any problem with Arab people. I don't have any problem with Chaldeans. These people are super cool, super chill. But when you start thinking about why you see all these Arabs in your city, when you see all these Indians and stuff like that, it's not always just because. It's not always just because. Like your government was probably messing around in somebody else's country, got some people killed, and they had to extract those people, their family, all this stuff like that. Down south in Mexico, Honduras, Guadalajara, whatever, Venezuela, all these places. America goes to these places south of the border, and they run all kind of black ops, if you will, with their Navy SEALs and the Delta Force and the CIA, and they're trying to overthrow regimes and do this and do that, and they get people killed. Well, it's like, hey, you gotta cut a deal. So you all of a sudden you see all these people. I want you to think about this. In America, there are so many neighborhoods that are full of Arabs. There's so many neighborhoods that are full of Indians. Why is it that when ICE starts doing their raids, they know exactly where to go? Now, the obvious answer would be, oh, well, they just go where there's the most Mexicans or whatever. But why aren't they trying to export any Arabs? Why aren't they trying to round up any Arabs? They're not trying to round up any Asians. They're not trying to round up any Indians. All these people aren't necessarily here legally. It's not all just people from Mexico and whatnot. They know where the Mexicans are. They know where the South Americans are, because all of the NGOs, all the non-governmental organizations, those people brought those other folks here. They brought all the Hispanics here, and they were specifically told, hey, don't put those people in this area because we already got people under this specific government program in that area. So in case we ever need to do something like a mass deportation, we know. This is why you don't see ICE doing these raids in Arab neighborhoods. And you see these people, and it's like, what is it? Dearborn, Michigan. You're telling me all those Somalis and all those Arabs, you telling me all those people are in Dearborn, Michigan legally. How did they all get there? How did all those Arabs get? And once again, I have no problem with Arabs. I don't want no smoke because I do live in an Arab community. But I'm just saying, how did they all get there? Like, did they come over on a cruise ship? Did they fly them all in? You telling me all those people in Dearborn, Michigan, where now the population is like 60% Islamic, 60% Muslim. How did they get there? Did it happen all at once? No, it happened over a period of years and years. That's how it got that way. And that stuff goes all the way back to the Iraq War, Desert Storm, them messing around in Africa, overthrowing governments. Because all those people aren't just Arabs. There's a lot of Africans over there too. What is it? In Minnesota, all them Somalis. The government, America's government, and all the coalition governments, Europe, all those places, they've been messing around in Africa for decades. And they cut them same deals. So you go over there and you want to overthrow this warlord and you got to barter for information and you get this innocent person killed or you get that innocent person killed. So you got to move their whole family and clan out. So that's how they're ending up in Minnesota. That's how they're ending up in the UK. All right. And once again, I want to stress, this is not the only thing that has transpired to get these people to where they are. It's just one major thing that happened. And I was ignorant of it until I asked a few years back. And it makes perfect sense. You fight all these wars. You fought this war. America, Australia was part of the coalition forces. America, Australia, the UK, Europe, they fought this war for like 20 some years, from 2001 to like 2024. Like, I don't know when Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. This is a few years back, but from 2001 until we finally pulled out with that disastrous pullout in Afghanistan under Joe Biden, that's how long that war was going on. And that program was in place throughout America and Europe almost the whole time. So like, you really have to ask yourself, these Arabs, these Africans, they're not coming to the countries. They're not coming to America, and they're not coming to Europe the same way, let's say Mexicans and others, South Americans are. They're not just trekking up there. They have transportation. They have paperwork. They have homes waiting for them. They have capital. They have money waiting for them. Like, these people are in Dearborn, Michigan. They have homes. These people are in Minnesota. They got jobs waiting for them. They got kids that have been here their whole life. And when you ask how they got there, if you ever stop to say, how exactly did you get here? That's one of the reasons why. So you got to think, the deal with the devil was done decades ago. And now Gen Z is waking up, Gen Alpha is waking up, and they're thinking it's time to fight back. And it's too late. Like, you can't undo that. You can't send those people back. A lot of them, they're citizens. If they were born here, they're citizens. And you're not getting rid of the older ones. Right? And these people are going to outbreed you. Like, they're already outbreeding you. They're sitting up on the government dime and they're outbreeding the natives. Like, if you're white, you're not going to find a white woman who's going to just say, oh, let me have 6 kids and do my civic duty. That's not what's going to happen. So I'm not going to sit here and try to unpack the whole immigration crisis continent to continent. I'm just going to say the fight was lost 20 plus years ago. Like, people, I'm not going to tell you not to fight, but I'm not going to tell you not to, vote the way you want to vote. But the first punch was thrown 20 some years ago when you were probably in high school or partying in college. And now you're just now putting your dukes up. There ain't going to be no fight. There's nothing to win here. Like, it's already too late.